All of us, it's exciting, it's fabulous. Translate, populate, locate, innovate, but shh, it's a secret, no need to keep it. You won't see me here again. 3, 2, 1, I'll see you in a bit. Download the app now for chat.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good morning. Welcome to this morning's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. The government's draft local content legislation is proposing to have Guyanese participate in 152 oil sector services so as to ensure maximum participation across the industry. In the document perused by Kaieteur, it was noted that oil companies as well as their subcontractor are expected to comply with the sliding scale targets for the respective sectors. Under petroleum agreements, the government is proposing oil companies in the upstream sector ensure 10% of their management staff is Guyanese at startup, with an increase of 20% in 3 years, followed by 25% in 5 years and 45% in 10 years. For supervisory staff, oil companies in the upstream industry are being asked to have 15% of their staff be made of Guyanese and have this increased to 65% in 10 years. All unskilled workers are proposed to be 100% from startup to a period of 10 years. In other news, the Ministry of Public Works on Friday signed 8 contracts valued $1.5 billion for major road upgrades in several parts of Guyana. The signing was done this week in the presence of Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgil and Minister within the ministry, Deodat Indar. Speaking with contractors, Minister Edgil noted that the roads are very important as residents have been lobbying for them for a long time. Among the major road works to be completed is the construction of the Mollison Creek at El Dorado Road in Region 6 at a cost of $151.2 million. The contract was awarded to Shafiala Sawmill. Minister Edgil noted that the road, which is currently a mud dam, will be upgraded to laterite and later as faulty concrete at a length of 2,500 meters and 7.2 meters wide. Minister Indar also urged the contractors to use local labor and services to foster economic activity in the communities. And moving on. A family of 3 from Lagrange, West Bank, Demerara remains in a state of shock after 2 bandits invaded their house Thursday night, held them at gunpoint, then beat and tied them up. According to a police report, one of the victims, a 56-year-old businesswoman, was about to close her shop, and so she sent her 21-year-old nephew to lock the gate, during which time one of the armed bandits barged in at around 20 hours 30. The bandits were armed with a knife and gun. One of them held onto the nephew and dragged him into the shop while the other rushed to the businesswoman and demanded cash and jewelry. The victim said she became fearful and started to plead with the men, asking them to have mercy. According to the police, one of the bandits took out what appeared to be a gun and put it to the victim's head and started to cuff and kick her, while the other suspect took out a knife and dealt her 2 cuts to both of her thighs. An investigation into the matter is ongoing. Get the full details in today's Kaieteur News. And more troubling news, a porter employed with Air Services Limited was killed after he was chopped multiple times about his body by a plane's propeller at the Camarang airstrip in Region 7. The dead man has been identified as 29-year-old Nigel Rodriguez of Camarang Landing, Upper Mazaruni. The fatal incident took place around 15 hours. According to a police report, the plane, a Caravan 8R GFA, had just landed on the airstrip and Rodriguez had rushed out to offload its cargo. The pilot was still in the process of shutting down the engine when Rodriguez walked in front of the moving propeller. He was reportedly sucked in by the force and chopped to death. Eyewitnesses described it as a gruesome scene and recalled that the man's internal organs were left protruding. They even said that they saw the moment his heart stopped beating. It is understood that before meeting his demise, Rodriguez was seen imbibing alcohol at the Camarang landing. And moving on, a worried mom is seeking the public's help to locate her teenage daughter who disappeared on Wednesday after dropping off her brother at the Vredenhoek Primary School on the west bank of Demerara. Missing is 14-year-old Varshni Ramdas, a student of the Windsor Forest Secondary School and a resident of Jetty Squatting Area, Vredenhoek. According to her mother, Ramdas was last seen around 11 hours wearing a pair of blue jeans, a grey top, a pair of black slippers. That day, Ramdas and her mother had planned to go to Vredenhoek Secondary School to see if she could be transferred there. Anyone who might have seen Varshni Ramdas or knows where she is asked to call telephone numbers 603-8147, 673-3793, 636-3133 or the nearest police station. And to wrap things up this morning, let's tell you that the Ministry of Health yesterday announced that 5 more persons who contracted COVID-19 have died. As a result of this, Guyana's COVID-19 death toll has moved to 862. The ministry reported that the fatalities are that of 2 unvaccinated persons, a fully vaccinated person, a partially vaccinated person, and another whose vaccination status is unknown. 108 new infections were recorded, bringing the total number of confirmed cases in the country to 34,240. Presently, there are 31 patients admitted into the ICU, 120 persons in institutional isolation, 3,614 in home isolation, and 22 in institutional quarantine. To date, a total of 29,613 persons have recovered after testing positive for the virus. And with that, we come to the end of this morning's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or